Well, good evening, everyone. I'm so glad that you joined us. My special guest is none other than Jerry Smith. Jerry Smith. So let's give him a hand, everybody. I tell you, this man here, he is a servant leader. He's definitely a servant leader. And Jerry has been involved into so many different things. But one of the things that I can tell you is that he is the CEO of JAS Consulting and Entertainment. And he is out in the community doing such marvelous information and sharing great information with the community. And whenever you see his flyers or advertisement, hey, listen, I definitely support you chiming in, registering, and becoming a part of it. So today we're going to be talking to Jerry about his life strategies that he has put in place for himself and maybe even some individuals who have but imparted words of wisdom into Jerry, just like we all have had that. So with Levelless is about understanding your worth, advocating for yourself, and succeeding on your own terms. And I love saying continue to succeed on your own terms, because when you remove the levels, it takes all the stress away. It takes you competing with yourself and you competing with other people. And we have a prime example sitting in front of us who has done what he has been called to do. And we're going to be talking to him about him sharing with us information about himself, his company, and all the things that he is doing in the community and in the world. So welcome, Jerry. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, Maxine. It's an honor to be with you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, listen, tell us about who you are and maybe a little bit about your ministry, your company, your purpose, and just give us some insight to who Jerry Smith actually is, that authentic person.
Awesome. Well, first and foremost, I give honor to God, and He has truly blessed me throughout my life and my career. And I tell everybody, Maxine, I'm a nobody. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody.
I love it. I love it.
But I'm a longtime radio announcer. I'm in the broadcast industry, entertainment industry. I just have so many things under the umbrella of JAS Consulting and Entertainment. I own a streaming gospel radio station, and I just do so much. I'm originally from Danbury, Connecticut, from the tri-state area. My mom and dad are from North Carolina. They moved to Connecticut when they were real young. They didn't know each other in North Carolina. They moved to the same town, Danbury, Connecticut, met each other, fell in love, and got married. But my roots tied to North Carolina. And at 12 years old, God put radio on my heart. And 7 years later, I was doing it in college at Central Connecticut State University. And I've been doing it professionally now for 38 and a half, going on 39 years now.
Wow. Jerry, I remember hearing your voice on the radio and how upbeat you always, whenever you are talking. But my best experience of you is when I had an opportunity to attend, is it called the Stellar Awards?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gracious. I was
Or
like,
do you mean the Lamplight
Lamplight
Awards?
Awards. That's
Lamplight,
it. The
okay,
Lamplight
locally, yeah.
Awards. And it's like, oh my gracious. And you would come on that stage and you'd be announcing individuals and you had that upbeat personality. And it's like, one day, I want to be up on that stage. And he calls my name to receive one of those awards. So
Yeah,
one day, not necessarily that award, but an award, right? We'll take
that's
that.
right.
So
That's
tell
right.
us a little bit about some strategies that maybe someone has shared with you, and
Mm,
who it, maybe if you can share who it is, who it was, and how did it impact your life?
wow. You know, that's a really difficult question to answer. When I look back over my life and I think about my career and my job, I thank God for allowing me to be really successful. And when I think of strategy, I can't really remember who it was. It may have been my mama, Margie Smith, who
Come
said,
on.
when whatever you do, do it in excellence. Do it in excellence.
That's it.
Be the best that you can be. And I just did a Facebook Live yesterday because under the umbrella of my company, I help artists to get radio airplay nationwide, and my client hit number one on Billboard and Media Base, which is a huge accomplishment. And as I was reflecting, I just remember my mom, Maxine, saying, "There's nothing you can't do. All things are possible through Christ who strengthens us. You can do all things, but do things in excellence. And there's nothing new under the sun, son. If somebody else has done it, you can do it too." So I guess when I look back at my strategy, I always think that I could be the best. If somebody else has accomplished it, I can accomplish it too. And just because I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, or Danbury, Connecticut, or wherever, that doesn't mean that I can't be one of the best at whatever it is that I attempt to do. So to strive for excellence, and wherever it falls, but don't underestimate what I can accomplish. And with my clients, I when I have my first meeting with them, to discuss our strategy, that's what I tell them. Like on the music side, even though you're a brand new artist, you're an independent artist, we are viewing you as a national recording artist
Come
because
on
that's what
now.
our goal is, for you to be national, not just a local independent artist, but a national. So I don't want to hear I'm an indie artist. No, you are a national recording artist. That's how we're going to brand you. That's how we're going to push you. That's how that's going to be our goal. That's going to be our approach. With my internet radio station, Favor 97.3, it's a streaming radio station, but I push it as a big time radio station, not a little streaming station, especially with as popular as streaming is now. Um, so to operate in the spirit of excellence and want to be the very best. Does that answer the question? I don't
That
know.
is, listen, that answers the question
Okay.
perfectly. And the reason for that is because I'm sitting here smiling because, with me being the career coach and I help individuals go through resumes and interviewing and everything. And I remember being in an being interviewed, and I was asked a question: what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? Well,
Mhm.
I don't look at anything that I do as a weakness. I look at it as a challenge.
Yeah.
So when I answer the question is that I try to be perfect in everything that I do.
Mhm.
Well, the interviewer said there is no such thing as you being perfect. And there was only one perfect person on this earth. And I said, correct. I said, so let me reword this. I have a standard of excellence that I adhere to. And so that's what I strive at all times in my life. So listen, that was a lesson learned.
That's right.
Even in an interview, you have to be ready to modify and pay attention. So I love the fact that you said excellence, because that's what we all need to be presenting, no matter where we are, who we're talking to, and what it is that we're doing. Is always that standard of excellence. So yes, that was a perfect answer.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
that is a strategy. Hey, listen, that's one of the best strategies to have, is to strive for excellence and maintain it, not just strive it, but hit it and then maintain it.
For
So
sure.
I absolutely love it. So we have some great questions that we're going to be asking you, but also if there's anything else that you want to chime in and share, by all means, please do that.
Okay.
So
Sure.
with the strategy of excellence that you have always done with your parents and instilled that into you, how has this impacted the decisions that you've made moving in this journey within your life?
It's been a big, big impact and major. You know, I kind of have a heart for the underdogs, or people that may be taken for granted. Um, and when I instill in them coach them up, talk to them about operating in the spirit of excellence. Um, I tell them that if we operate in the spirit of excellence, no matter what it is that we do, no matter how many people come to our event or listen, they're going to be impressed. They're going to say, "Wow, we have that here. This radio station has done this production, this personality." So I just tell them, and sometimes they say I talk too much, but I try to give the big picture. God has given me a gift not to just see what's in front of me, not the tree, but to see the forest. So I
Right.
always try to give them the forest view, the big picture of everything, because oftentimes we just look at that one thing. And so at the end of whatever it is that we do, they say, "Jerry, man, you were right. I didn't see it at first, but you're absolutely right. This event turned out amazing. Um, I've gotten so many great compliments, and people just patting us on the back for what we did. So thank you." So it not only impacts me, but it also helps them to grow. And that's one of the things that's really important to me, is allowing others to grow
Hmm.
through my experiences, so that they can pass it on to somebody else, either their family, their friends, their colleagues, or their own entrepreneurship. So that's what's really important to me.
Wow, that is awesome because you're right. And I love the fact that you started out saying that it was, you, in a sense, a dream. It's been shown to you that you don't just see the tree, but you see the entire forest. I look at that as having a vision with the end in
Mhm.
mind. And then you know how to start at the beginning, who to work with, who to consult with, who to use resources from, and then how to pull it all together, put a plan in place, and then execute on it. So even with
Mhm.
level lists, we talk about how we help them to know their worth and can advocate for themselves. Well, in knowing your worth, you have to be able to see who you are. What do you
Mhm.
bring to the table? What values that you're adding? And then the fact that you said that it's a gift. It is a gift that we all have. We all have those everyday abilities that we are using, but many times we have not discovered them, identified them, and sometimes we just need to have them confirmed. But here
Mhm.
you are saying that you realize you have that natural everyday ability. And I'm like, my heart is just bubbling over and over and over because that's my goal is to help at least 5 million professionals understand that yes, you have these gifts, but what are they? And if you've
Right.
not yet discovered them, how are you going to put it into full use while you're here on this earth?
Mhm.
So you using those gifts and touching the people the way that you're touching them, and you using those gifts in order to see the vision, in order to bring it forth, and then that standard of excellence is going far and beyond the expectations of the individuals who attend. That is just absolutely awesome. That is awesome. I see why you're chosen to have this JAS entertainment because you don't just entertain people, you help them to soar. You help them to take the gift that they have already been given and then to move it forward so it can edify and it can produce, it can bring revenue, and it can transform generations. So
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I hope I don't get too profound here, but when
No, no,
all of
you're
this is
you're
just it's really great when someone says that they understand their ability that they were born with
yeah.
because so there are so many people who have not yet identified them.
Mhm.
Anything you want
And
to
they
add
do
to
have,
that?
and I want to say that they do have them. I think
Yeah.
subconsciously they know what they're good at. They may not categorize it as gifts, but as the older you get, you just kind of realize, you realize that. When I was young, Maxine, a lot of people, I couldn't understand it, but they would come to me to tell me about their problems. I'm like, what is it? My colleague, I don't want to say colleagues, but when I was a
Peers.
teenager,
Sometimes my
you're
peers
right,
did that
that's
to
the word.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my peers. I'm like, why is everybody coming to tell me what's going on in their life? But they felt comfort and security sharing these things that they had to get out. And I didn't realize until a little later that that was a gift, because not everybody can tell people that, those type of things that are intimate, or issues that they have going on, and just need that ear to lean on to help them try to navigate that situation. I didn't realize that that was a gift until later on, when it continued in my adult life. I'm like, people, it's something about me that people feel so comfortable about sharing those things, because they feel like they can trust me, and that I'll help them in their time of need.
Oh man, give me a fist bump. We need a fist bump here. I need a fist bump. I need a fist bump. Yeah, because I encountered the same thing as a young lady, even in high school. That you sit in the auditorium, and the beginning of class, and you got this extra time, and everybody would just swarm around me, and they would be telling them their situations. I would be asking them these particular questions, and then they would answer them, and then before long they said, "Well, thank you. You just helped me," and I'm like, "How did I help them?"
Right,
But
right,
I was
right,
asking the
right.
right questions. And later in life, it's like what you just said. I realized it was called coaching. Had no
Yeah.
idea as a teenager that's what I was doing. But you're right. Even in my entire adult life, until I became a certified business coach, I was coaching people, but did not know what it was called.
Right, right.
It's a gift. It's an ability that God decided he wanted to impart that into me, and I embraced it and start using it. And so, yes, 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 yes. So, yeah, listen, you are speaking my language right here. I am
Two
loving
peas in a
all of this.
pod.
Yeah, two peas in the pod. That is so, so, so right. So, the other thing I want to talk about with you is when you put your strategies in place, was there a particular way or a model or a method that you use that you see you continuously do whenever you
Mhm.
do organize or put a plan together or an event together? Is a particular model that you do?
The model is Jesus Christ. I follow his directions. The Bible tells us to lean not into our own understanding, trust in the Lord, acknowledge him in all our ways. He will direct our path. I mean, that may sound cliche, but it's whatever God lays on my heart, I know the outcome is going to be good. Because first and foremost, the Holy Spirit gave me the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know things have to be in an orderly manner. And again, it goes back to what I mentioned, the spirit of excellence, to operate in the spirit of excellence. And I know I've got to have a good team around me that, I'm a visionary. I'm not really that great at the administrative stuff. So I'm a visionary, I'm creative. God has blessed me to have a whole lot of relationships. People can feel my passion, they know my heart, they know it's genuine, and it's whatever it is, it's to bless someone. But I need to have someone who can help with the administrative, and they can operate in the spirit of excellence there. It might be like the Lamplighter Awards. We talked about that off camera earlier. No, no, I mean, we talked about that a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many components to that. Somebody that handles travel, somebody that handles hotel, somebody that handles um, the marketing for it. God gave me the vision of how to put it together, and how it was going to flow, and to honor people, and how to display that. So I like to work with a good team of people that are like-minded people that just want to really do things in excellence to bless everybody that's involved. Um, that's the best way that I can describe it. Making sure that we have our meetings to go over things, to make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. I think that that's key and important, to make sure that everything flows well. I've got a clean comedy show coming February the 18th, and I was just at the venue yesterday, and we were meeting, where the VIP tables are going to go, where the seating is going to be, where the artists, the entertainers are going to come from. So I think it's important to just go through all of those details just to make sure that whatever it is that you're planning goes well. Earlier today, my client, I think I shared that he's number one on two major charts, and what a blessing that is. And we had an exchange earlier today this, to have the strategy for the next song. So just kind of pre-planning and making sure that we're prepared, so that when we do these things, that we come out of the gate in a professional manner and in excellence.
Well, the strategy that I'm hearing, or I'll call them platinum nugget that you just dropped, is the fact that you plan, have a team of like-minded individuals, and then you have to follow through on the execution. And you're constantly having meetings and you're pulling it together to make sure everybody is constantly on the same page. So, did I sum it up?
You did, and stuff that I don't even, I just do it. I'm like, what strategy do I do? But that's just how my life is, without even realizing that there's a strategy to it, and I'm just
Right,
doing
right,
it.
right. Yeah, there's a madness to your method, isn't it, in a sense?
Right.
But that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. I know, because for years I had this method that I used whenever God would download an assignment to me, and I would find myself doing those 7 steps each time. And I've
Mm.
created that into what is called the levelers mindset model, because there is a process in which you go through in order to execute on that strategy that you're trying to put in place. So I hear you. You just do it naturally without even thinking about it. And one day I just started writing and putting it on a piece of paper. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a model. And a model can help so many people. So yeah, so that would be introduced and shared later. So tell me, when you said that people would come to you when you were younger until you become older, and now as an adult, now you realize what it is that you're doing, consulting, strategizing, coaching, and so forth. But now, what would you tell your younger self? Say, like between the ages of 16 to 20, what advice would you give your younger self?
Wow. The advice I would give is to study, 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 and take your education serious. Growing up, I was an athlete. To look at me now, I'm rusty, dusty, and crusty, but I used to be a really good basketball player. I played basketball, I played soccer in college, and I was an amateur boxer. And I did all three of those sports while I was in college. The soccer helped me to get a scholarship into college, and I was just I just loved to play, and I just happened to be good at all of those things. And boxing, I was that close to becoming a pro boxer, professional boxer, but I didn't want to make a living that way. And growing up, I just took the education for granted. The light bulb didn't go off on that piece until I got to college. And when I got to college, I realized I was a little behind my peers. Um, and I said, wow, you know, never again. So from that point on, my freshman year in college, I said, I want to be the best student in the class.
All right.
So from 18 years old, that was my approach. Whether it was broadcasting school, computer school, no matter what I did, I wanted to be uh, the smartest in the class. I wanted to get the best grades, and so it wasn't too late for me. But when you get older and you see these athletes on television, the glamour life, you're just focusing on developing that skill, being good at that sport, not I was always naturally competitive, and that kind of trickled over into my business life and work work life as well as an employee. But that's the thing that if I could go back, and that's why I'm so passionate about talking to the youth about the importance of education, because so many of my friends who had great gifts, great skills in sports, unfortunately, they didn't make it because they didn't take the education seriously. And the light bulb for them didn't go off as soon as it went off for me. And
Right.
by that time, and I always tell people it's never too late to get education. It's never too late to go to college or career or whatever. It's never, ever, ever too late. But the older you get, the more difficult it becomes, because you're not that young person
Mhm.
anymore, and you've wasted a lot of time. So I try to instill in our young men and women to do it now. Sacrifice, you know, 4 years or however long it takes in college, and then when you're in your mid 20s to upper 20s and 30s, you'll be rolling a great career, and the money will come rolling in, as opposed to trying to play catch up at 30 and beyond. Not that it's impossible, but just go ahead and do what you got to do. Focus on that education while you're young so that you can reap the benefits of that when you get a little older.
You know what? Again, you hit the nail on the head. It's a focus on not only the education, and education can come in so many different forms. College is one of the ones, trade is
Mm-hmm.
another, innovation, entrepreneurship, all of that is a part of educating. But one of the things that we focus here on Level Us is about understanding your everyday abilities and strengths. So when you focus on the education, you're focused in an area that you're already gifted. You
Mm-hmm.
already been
Yes.
given the gifts and the talents, the abilities to do it, the know-how to every day you're doing it without even thinking about it. Like what you just said, you put that model in place, you just do it. It comes natural for you. With the end in mind, you see the beginning, you see the forest and you see the tree.
That's
And
right.
everybody does not have that, but you need to know what you do have. Who are you from your core, from that DNA, what you have been gifted with. When I always say when you were given the breath of life,
Mm.
because when you were given that breath of life, you were given abilities. It's just that you have to grow into them and then become aware of them.
Yeah.
And so here you have someone sitting in front of you that if you're not sure of those gifts and abilities, then we have an assessment called the Highlands Ability Assessment that will help you to hone in on the gifts that you were given at the breath of life. So
Mm.
when you get ready to go into the education, into the career, into the trade, into entrepreneurship, you still need to be able to identify what area is the best fit for you. And
Mm-hmm.
even in employment, it's okay to be employed and work for someone, but you still need to understand what are the right roles and responsibilities that you should be working within. So you're
Mm-hmm.
working with those abilities and not against your strengths. So yes, I love what you just said. Like I said, listen, two peas in a pod, that's what we are today. Another fist bump. Another fist bump is
Okay.
needed. Is needed. I tell you, you're hitting it and you're knocking it out of the ballpark
Well, thank
because
you. Thank you.
I did not know that I had the abilities that I have until I was about 33.
Oh, wow.
33. I didn't start my business until I was 55. I won't tell my age right now, but no, I'm proud of it. But the whole thing of it is that I'm getting at is like you said, it's never too late.
Hmm.
But the earlier we can help these youth and our young adults and our young college kids to understand what are those abilities that you were born with, they go right into it. They're not flipping and floundering trying to figure out
Right.
what degree am I supposed to go, or oh, I did this,
Mhm.
but I don't like that, so now I got to change. So now you got a whole semester lost and all the money that you spent, for tuition and board, or maybe books, and your time. You have to take time into consideration. But what when we are able to help these young people understand that ability that they have at 14, at
Yeah.
14,
Yeah. Yeah.
it continues through the rest of their life. It continues, and therefore they continue to build on it. So that's why we say levelless is about knowing your worth, advocating
Mhm.
for yourself, and continue to succeed on your own terms. Because when you know who you are from your core, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to use those abilities to continue to succeed.
And Maxine, I really, when I talk to the youth, I like to make that point because I think that there's something that they hear a voice or they dream or they feel something
Right.
to to that they want to do, but they may not know how to articulate it or
Right.
pursue it. I ask a lot of people that I come across because I'm blessed to have a lot of entertainer friends, and because I'm in the entertainment business, different aspects, whether it's a professional athlete, actress, actor, entertainer, singer, people who are executives in the industry, and I asked them all, "How old were you when you knew you wanted to be a lawyer, entertainment lawyer? How old were you when you knew you wanted to be an accountant? How old were you when you knew you wanted to be a singer?" And they all say pretty much the same thing at a young age. Like I was 12, I was 7, I was 9, I was 14, I was 15. You know, for me, it was 12 years old.
Mhm.
And people were saying, "You're never going to be a DJ. You're not going to be on the radio." And I realized that later because I could not understand it. It was driving me crazy. Why are people saying I can't be a DJ, a radio DJ? Because I'm going to be it. Just like I'm holding up this little glass solution to
Uh-huh,
clean my
uh-huh.
glasses, I could feel it. I'm like, why are they saying I can't hold this in
Right.
my hand? I'm going to be on the radio one day. And for
Right.
me, it turned out it was 7 years later. But I come to realize the older I got, that God put that on my heart. He didn't put it on my friends and my cousins and aunties and uncles' heart.
Right.
So for them, that seemed like the most impossible thing in the world. Whereas for me, it was like it's going to happen. So I'm really passionate about sharing with young men and women whatever it is that God put on your heart.
Come on. Come on.
It's already done. God's
Already
waiting
there.
on you.
Yes. Yes.
Don't
Yes.
wait on him. But then there have been some other folks on the other side. Well, Jerry, I didn't really know what I wanted to do until I was in my 20s, or and that's fine. But I just know it's because of my situation, people couldn't see it, so they thought it was impossible for me when I knew it was reality. And I've been doing it professionally for 38 going on 39 years. For people at 12 years old to say, "You ain't gonna do that, you'll never do that." So I'm like, whatever God puts on your child's heart, mom and dad, just because you don't see it,
Right.
don't disagree with it. Encourage them. If they say, "I want to be a doctor," and you come from humble beginnings and you're thinking about all the money that might be involved to educate them and med school, and don't worry about that. That's, God's got them. God will
It will
make
be
those
taken care
provisions.
of. It will be, if he give you the vision, he'll give you the provision, as they say. You know,
Yes,
I love what
yes.
you're saying as far as 12, and you knew that's what you wanted to do, and you would not let anybody or anyone deter you from doing it. You had that in your heart. We both were young when people started coming to us and asking us questions and so forth and so on. I knew I eventually wanted to be what they kept telling me I was going to be a teacher. I knew I
Mhm,
wanted to train individuals, but I wanted to help them to become who they were created to be, even at a young
mhm,
age. I used to say,
mhm,
what did your spirit guide you to do? What has your spirit told you to do? Well, have you written down
mhm.
that's been downloaded into your spirit? Because I'm thinking just like you, it's already within us.
Yeah,
We just have to help you bring it out so that you can
right.
bring it to reality, that you can understand these are the gifts that you have, and you can work with your strengths and not against your strengths. Many times we have these young people who go on to school, right? And even some adults,
Mhm,
they go on to school, but they go into school for the wrong reason. because they think they're going to make money in this particular profession. They think they're going to be able to do this, that, and the other. But what they have not taken into consideration is, what has their heart told them? What have they
Right.
been dreaming about when they were a little kid that they put on the back
Mhm.
burner because life got in the way? Many times they
Yeah.
need to reach back because that's what they have the passion for. They just
Yeah.
didn't even realize it. So the
Mhm.
sooner we can help them to understand that passion that they have, the sooner that they will be able to thrive in this world, not just survive. It's all about thriving. And I
Yeah.
always say, don't give up on your dreams, because we haven't given up on you.
That's right.
And so you have to go and allow yourself to bring that dream to reality.
Mhm.
I love the fact that you're talking to parents. Parents, he is so right, because your child have dreams. Observe them. Pay attention to what they're doing in their spare time when you're not even thinking about it, or they're in the living room. They could be 4 or 5 years of age, and you have them sitting in the middle of the floor tinkering with something, and they'd have tore the whole thing up, and you all upset because it's all torn up. But you come back later on and it'll put it all back together.
Right.
That's a natural ability. They can't
Yeah.
help it. That's just what they're going to do. And we got some of them who are what, math whiz, they're finance
Yeah.
whiz. They know how to
Yeah.
maintain a budget. They know how to spend their money. They know how to stretch a dollar, turn a dime into a dollar when it comes to how to use it. So you
Mhm.
have to nurture those gifts and those abilities that you're watching them. So Jerry, again, I'm all about these fist bumps today. Because you are just hitting it. You are nailing it. It is so critical in today's time, not only in today's time, but even before today. That's why I've been doing this for 12 years.
Mhm.
I was laid off from an organization. I had already enrolled in this business coaching program in that November, I think it was. I attended it one weekend. The next weekend, they called an emergency meeting only to tell us that the site was closing.
Mm.
But I didn't have any, I didn't worry. I didn't worry on what was I going to do next. I had already been shown what I was going to do next. That's why I was getting this
Mhm.
business certification. I didn't know that why I was dropped into my spirit to do it. But once that
Mhm.
happened, I knew that, hey, this is what he wants me to do. But I'm like, okay, Lord, but you're going to have to tell me, what am I going to be doing with this? And it
Right.
wasn't until
Right.
I started reflecting back on what happened to me when I was in high school. Jerry,
Mhm.
I was at 2.4 GPA. Now, if you're a 2.4 GPA, are they going to look at you to think you're college material back in the 70s? I doubt it. They
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Mhm.
I was not even talked to about going to college. I'm from a family of 12. We barely making it day to day. So how are they going to send me to college? So I thought.
Mhm.
But what I did not know is what you're here talking to these kids about. Don't give up on your dream. Continue to push forward. Because at that time, a family of 12, I could have probably gone to school pretty much free with all the different grants that were out there for low
Mhm.
income families. But no one told me about that. So that's why I take time now to make sure that I inform all of the individuals in which I'm working with about the different opportunities in order to help them to advance in their life and their career. So, but what they didn't know was, you might think I'm not college material, but the material that I have within me, the college did not put it there.
That's right. That's
those are
right.
those God-given abilities are the ones in which I used to help a marketing department make $12 million. But I was
Wow.
told I couldn't be promoted because I didn't have a degree.
Mm.
But I didn't have to have a degree to help them bring in that $12 million, did I?
Yeah, exactly. That boggles the mind. If
Yes.
you're getting the job done, that's what the bottom line is. There are people with a ton of degrees, or I should say, there are a ton of people with degrees, but they couldn't do what you did. So you know, it should be about the bottom line. It should be about the results. So
It should
excuse
be about
me,
that excellence,
for
that standard of
right,
excellence that you're talking about, that, making sure that what you do it with quality, you do it with excellence, a spirit of excellence. I mean,
right.
my department was the face of the organization. So anyone wanted to do business with that particular company, they came through my department. So how do you think they got the $12 million?
Right,
Because we
right,
help bring the business in.
right.
And I do what is called 5-star service imperative training now because of that. It's
Mhm.
important and is so critical that the people that is the face of your organization know how to talk, know how to represent you. They are the face of your company, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. If something happens, they are the face, they're the voice. So, yes. So, all these things that we want our young people to understand now at the earliest age so they don't have to go through all these hurdles that we had to go through. We're
Right,
eliminating
right.
some of those obstacles for them if the parents
Yeah.
will only allow us. And then once the student become of age, if they will allow us.
Mhm.
It's just as simple as that. You can't get around it, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So you must go on and understand how to navigate in this world of work.
Yeah. It's I'm glad you said that. And I don't really understand it, why we have to touch the stove to get burnt, to know not to touch the stove. Parents will say, don't touch that, don't touch that. You know, navigating the hurdles, roadblocks, and obstacles of life is a challenge. And when you go through those hard knock uh, life things and you try to pass it down, for some reason, it's kind of like resisted. No, I got to do chart my own course. But then they get burnt, they get bumped and bruised, and then they learn. But I think it's our responsibility to continue to
Yes.
help them to navigate, to plow a path that's easier. And I always tell people, listen, no matter what it is that God put on your heart to do, okay, it's already done. But you've got to surround yourself with good people, like-minded people, because there are going to be people that try to pull you down, pull you
Damn.
off course. Young ladies, there's going to be guys that try to sleep with you, have sex, to maybe even introduce drugs and alcohol. The enemy is really, really intentional on trying to keep you from your purpose for whatever it is that God has destined for your life, because God is going to get the glory from whatever it is that he put on your heart to do. At 12 years old, did I know God would get the glory from what I'm doing in my broadcasting and entertainment career? No, I wanted to meet the girls. I wanted to go to the concert. I wanted to get the records. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking that God was going to get the glory out of my life. But the older I got, the more seasoned I got, the more wiser I got, I realized that this gift that God gave me, this vision, this dream at 12 years old, God is reaping the harvest of that now. He's getting the glory of my life. I'm helping people to get to know him better, hopefully lead them to him so
Right.
that they would give their life to him. But at 12 years old, I wasn't thinking about that. But the enemy did, because the enemy threw every temptation uh, he possibly could. And I just did not want to surround myself with people doing the wrong thing.
Mm.
And so I just share that with the young men and women that, God's given you this dream, this vision. It's already done. You're going to be a lawyer. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a teacher. You're going to be an entrepreneur. But the enemy is going to do
That's right.
everything possible to keep you off of uh, that track to success. And you've got to have good discernment. You've got to see what it
Right.
is for to bring you down. I've got some siblings who are way smarter than me, who could be doctors, lawyers, but they went the other direction. They let the enemy
Invade.
pull them in the wrong
Yeah,
direction, thinking that
exactly.
it was cool, it was fun. But I didn't. And so the difference in our lives is drastic. I'm on the show with you right now, being interviewed to talk about my strategies and my business.
That's
They
right.
wish they had somebody that had interest in them, right now, because their life is not that good. So I just share to young men and women, please, God gave you this gift. You're going to do great things with your life, but don't let the enemy get you off track. Don't let the
Yes.
enemy keep you from your what you're destined to do, your destiny and your purpose,
Purpose.
because God has got great things planned for you, and He will get the glory. You may not realize it now, but He will get the glory from all the works that you do. I'm sorry,
Woo-hoo! Yes, indeed.
I had to get that out.
And listen, I'm all for it because that is so true. You're talking about staying on track and that destiny. I talk about we are a masterpiece, uniquely created for a purpose and given natural abilities to reach our destiny. So not only did He create us, but we're uniquely created. We're individual. No two, even twins are alike. And so, but I also help the individuals who are in sports related, sports minded. Yes, you want to be in the NBA, NFL, all of that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your plan A. Levelers comes in and help you with your plan B because life happens, things happen. You might no longer want to be there. They might no longer want you to be there. So, your mindset shifts. And when that shift, you need to be ready to adapt and not let
Yes.
it bring you down, but lift you up because
Yes.
you already know that you can continue to succeed on your own terms. And your own terms is with your own abilities and strengths. So don't become
Yes.
so dependent on someone else that you lose sight of who you are and your own gifts and talents. So
You
we
know,
have to always keep that in mind.
amen. I want to do an event for youth that involves their parents, especially athletes. I want to bring in professional football players, basketball players, to talk to the moms and dads and the student about the importance of education. Because
Right.
I think a lot of times dad focuses on their son's sports, um, in terms of sports development, whether it's
Mhm.
basketball or football, but in the classroom, they may be lacking. And I want these professional athletes to say, listen, whoa, slow your roll, dad. Slow your roll, son, young lady. You got to put as much work in that classroom
Right.
as
That's
you
right.
do on the practice field. You're getting up early to go, to run, lift weights, shoot some hoops or catch some footballs, but you've got to take that same work ethic in the classroom because, like you said, you got to have a plan B. And oftentimes there's a lot of talented young men and women in sports, but because the academics are not in order, they don't get that opportunity to go on to college and then potentially be a professional athlete. So I want somebody who's lived it, who they can get it firsthand. Okay,
Firsthand.
yes,
Yes.
I'm in the NBA. I made it. But there's some guys who are way better than me who should be here, but they're not here because they didn't get it done in the classroom. So they didn't get that opportunity in college and then the opportunity to go to the next level professionally. So listen, Mr. Smith is right. He's telling you right that you got to put the work in that classroom, just
Right.
like you do going to the gym and the park and
Basketball
all
court,
that
all
stuff.
that stuff. Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Yes. And
And it's
so,
so
so
many
I,
times we do sometimes put too many emphasis on the sport itself, and we sometimes education lacks. And so what we're saying is that it needs to be a balance. One does not have to be predominant over the other. They both can bring you and take you down that path of success, hitting that destiny, that purpose that you are ordained to be doing while you're here on this earth. So we're not
yes.
saying don't look at sports. We're not saying, don't continue to excel in sports, but we're saying is that you must find that balance. And that plan B, if plan A is what you get gifted at naturally doing, then let's evaluate, let's assess what plan B needs to look like. So that when
Hmm.
you go into that plan B, you already have a backup plan.
Right.
It's waiting on you. You're not having to crisis management now that something has happened. Let's be proactive opposed to being reactive. So that's what we
Yes.
do here at Levelers. It's all about us being constantly being proactive. I heard you talk about, what you want in the future and the vision that you have. And I was, and it's just reminded me of a program that I had put together several years ago. And it was to do exactly that. It's to bring the youth together and let them be able to see all the different careers and have individuals from those career segment to talk to them about, so they understand what education that they had to have. They understand what hurdles that they have to jump. They understand the pay involved, because sometimes people think, oh, you're getting a whole lot of money. But what they don't realize is called the total compensation package, because you need benefits to go with it.
Mhm.
In case there is a crisis situation, a health situation, you need benefits. So how do you look at all of that? And so I love the fact that you wanted to do it from, the athletes, but also if we could even expand that a little bit further and bring it in for some of these other, job families, I think that would be awesome as well. So
Yeah.
yes, I'm volunteering my time
Okay.
to be a part of it, because I really
Yeah.
feel it. I really feel the need for it, and have felt that need for over 5 years. So, I have a full developed plan. I just, sometimes he downloads things to you, but you might
Mhm.
not know how to execute on it. You might not know who to reach out to help you execute them. So with you saying that, it immediately popped into my brain all the work that he had given me on this particular, you know, um, conference or summit or whatever we want to call it. But the fact
Mhm.
is that I have something already fully, developed, written
Mhm.
down, just a matter of executing on it. So sharing it with you is not a problem. I think
Awesome.
that would be awesome. Awesome. Well, Jerry, I thank you so much for your time and your expertise, the strategist that you are, the consultant that you are, helping artists, helping youth, helping the community, and helping the world. So, how would individuals get in touch with you if they're interested in reaching out to you?
Yeah, you can go to my website, which is jerrysmith03.com. Real simple, jerrysmith03.com. I'm the third, so that's where that 03 comes in. I believe in the Father, Son, and the precious Holy Ghost.
Oh, yeah. Can't
or
leave that out.
or you can call me at 919-395-4905. That's 919-395-4905. I would love to talk to you. I have a streaming internet radio station that plays gospel music. And if you're a small business, it's a great way to get some marketing and advertisement at a relatively inexpensive cost to help you to get the word out about your business, products, goods, and services. Maxine, I would love to say thank you for this opportunity and you giving me a chance to share my heart and a little bit about my business. I appreciate you so much.
No, I appreciate you doing what you're doing, and congratulations to all that you're doing and all the people that you're touching and bringing the awareness about education. Is about don't give up on your dream. It's about having a plan B, and it's about bringing the community together. You are a servant leader. And Mr. Smith, I am deeming you today as the levelest man.
Oh, thank you. To God be the glory. All blessings flow
That's
from Him.
right.
Thank you,
That's
thank you,
right.
thank you.
All right. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity, for just being able to sit and have this wonderful chat with you. We'll have to always bring you back so that you can tell us some
Yes,
other things that you're doing.
I'd love
So
to.
we
I'd love to.
Excellent. All right. So listen, we thank you for chiming in and listening, but be sure to support Jerry Smith and all the community endeavors that he's doing. You heard about the upcoming event that he has. Also, go to his website and continuously looking at the different activities that he offers. And let's be a big support for him. All right. So thank you for chiming in. I'll see you next time. Same station, same place, same time. Until then, I believe in you and I trust you believe in yourself. Have a great day.